Hello, welcome to today's collective general reading. As always, remember to use your own discernment, join with intention, and allow the message to be received with an open heart. A quantum reminder, we are speaking through symbol and story here, so please do not rely on tarot readings as factual evidence. You are you are always encouraged to do your own research, especially when engaging with strangers on the internet. That was actually really nice. I forgot that I had put that there. That was from when Scythe was selling like Date with a Book. So that's like a little tea packet, which might be nice in my new apartment. Okay, so here's what we're doing. The previous video that I just recorded is very much earthly, life, things going on, and what has been coming out along the same time is about the awakening. I'll say our great awakening. And the process of remembering. Now, since I did that collaboration with Scythe, the star card has come out in almost every single reading. And I don't think that for no reason. We think it's this, but it's not. But this is what we think. It's actually this. And what has come through is, 40, bonding with the rhythm of life. This rhythm, we have been stuck. It's kind of like, and I don't know how true this is, but this is back to when I would like watch paranormal shows in high school, and they say it's not that the ghost is trapped with you here, it's that they are actually in a loop of what they lived during their life. Ne? Okay? 222. And they are reliving this same loop over and over and over. And that is due to a limitation in the realm that they now exist within. I'm butchering this, but I'm paraphrasing a riddle, okay? For those of us who landed here at one point, at one time, very mindful of language here, some of us have been stuck in the loop of the crash, of the boom. And that moment that we consciously hit Earth Mother and had that friction, a lot of us have been stuck there. And here, sun, number 6, light. I was going to say, and here is the difference. Oh my goodness, it's actually a crash land. Did not know. Oh my goodness. Some of this stuff is cool, guys. Sometimes this is really, really cool. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, it is this literal crash landing. And then through that, we have the disorientation. Where am I? Why am I here? I'm supposed to be somewhere else. Where are the people I was supposed to land with? We're all scattered out. I don't know where to go. I know I'm supposed to be somewhere, but I can't get there, and I don't know where that would be anyway, or how I would. And now I'm starting to forget why I got here in the first place. And I know I'm here for a reason, but that crash really jostled my freaking brain, dude. And now I'm having a hard time. And this whole time we start walking in circles around the crash site. And life goes on, and lives come and go. And the more that I'm learning about this network, I suppose you could say, within Starseed, which I'm Any human on earth can say they are anything. Just because someone says it does not mean that's what it is. So discernment is key, my guy. And a lot of my language that's coming out is very masculine, very vocal. I know that I am stepping into Emperor, and that I'm having done so much work with my feminine, being open to receive what it is that is coming in, and all of that having come in, I'm like, thank God, now let's switch gears, mother trucker. And now I'm ready for doing, and now I'm in a different spot. I am no longer torn up in the dust swirling around me from where the freak am I? How did I get here? And I think that's where a lot of people are repeating. Okay, what is this new bottom that came? 8, fire ignition. Yeah, this masculine doing. We have the Queen of Wands here. Came out as I was clearing up the previous reading, and I said, okay, this is what we have unlocked. Or perhaps this is how we have unlocked what comes next. So we think it's this, but it's actually this. Okay. It's not time. Where should I go? I also know that I'm missing a deck in terms of there's a deck out there waiting for me to get it. And so I know when I go to reach for things now, I'm wanting to go somewhere that I have not yet arrived at. In which case, let's do some soul cards. I'm wanting to be where I have not yet arrived. That's something for someone. I'm getting this being swallowed whole, or swallowing whole everything that is, because it's not fully contained, right? There are these red streaks here, but it is mostly. And perhaps this is you trying to keep it all together. Yeah. Trying to hold everything within because you don't feel that there's anywhere for it to go. Yeah, that's really hard. Like, life is hard. Life can be hard, I know. Not laughing at, laughing with. And this whole deck is beautiful, but some of these just really get me. I'm seeing here that he's holding on to a knife of fire. That's how I'm seeing it in this point. And in the previous reading, we had the Ace of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So this is and again, I'm getting the motion of like when they get sucked back into the game in Jumanji, but there's a returnance. And with hands open, ready, awaiting for the moment to come, not rushing, not trying to get there, not fighting, not scared, not threatening. It's just, and Spirit is asking you and letting you know that it sees. I know you crash landed and now you're just trying to hold everything together. I know it's hard. Like this, I think something that we get stuck on as humans is, but that's not fair. And then they smack you with, life isn't fair. And I know life isn't fair, but it should be, but it could be. And I think we are mixing up the universe and the world, okay? Because with the world, I believe what we are talking about is society, government, systems, processes, policy. Like, I also agree those things should be more fair. I think that's something that we are moving towards. And of course, as always, there are those who wish to interrupt this process of evolution. Of course. Anyway, not my P's, not my Q's. But I think that when we are in this placement of waiting and being open to what will come to us from the universe, we then get struck with, but something bad happened and that's not fair. And now I'm pissed off because that shouldn't have. And then table flip, you know what I mean? And the test of life, what it is that you don't need to like it. Just because you don't like the meal put in front of you doesn't mean that's not your supper, you know? Sometimes you got to eat it. And it's learning, yes, gratefulness and gratitude is a whole layer to this process. As the clouds are gathering my attention for a moment. You want to have it all. It's not having it all, it's being all. Yeah, that's this is what it's not. What is this? 36, embracing sensuality as union. So what I'm getting this with union and what it's, oh my goodness, look at all of these beings ascending. Never noticed that in this card. All through the throat, hey? And they're flying over to join. Now what I'm seeing, what it is not is, it's not union in terms of you rely on someone else to get you there. No one here is coming as a duo, as a throuple. Everyone here is coming on their own. Sure, we can come together, but that does not mean that we are responsible for getting each other here. And I think that's something that we really struggle with as humans. I know I did. and continue, always working on it. But for me, it was in activism and in social justice and political change and systems of oppression and entering the system to challenge the system from the inside, and then all of the outflips from that. And it was just, boy, I don't like that. Is our candle still on? Yeah. And having to, and this is also layers of burnout for people doing this in one way or another. And you might not be doing it for work, for an organization, for other people. This might be you are impacted by things like racism, by things like sexism, by fascism. There's all of these things in the world that are making it harder for you to live your life. Yes. Yes. Just because this is happening does not mean it is the responsibility or the weight of the universe, because this is all what we are showing up and doing as humans. And I think I'm losing the plot a little, and that's why Spirit had me pull into the skies of just like zoom out for a moment. All I mean to say is it's important to differentiate the world from the universe. Because some things are what are, some things are done by humans, and there is a difference. No, not yet. It's not for you to know yet. Okay. Had this like sun image on bottom. That might be for someone. Tuck that in there. There's something that I do when I shuffle cards, or I often try to do, is okay, so this bottom card right now is, oh my goodness, power. And how funny. This card is maybe like a month ago in readings. It's one of the more, everyone should watch this readings that I have. But it's this reading is for everyone, but few will understand. Something like that. Anyway, the purpose was to say there's a card on bottom, and often when I shuffle, I make sure that it's not just one in my hand, and then I'll shuffle, and I will make sure that the last card I don't just place on top. I place it in midst somewhere. This for me is so it's not top to bottom, bottom to top, back and forth. And so if a card that was on a top or bottom reappears, I know it's because it came through because I did my duty to hide it in the shuffle. With mental, what I'm getting that as is just spirit kind of joking and being like, you're putting in too much. Too much of this process is becoming to prove, to mediate, to survive. And speaking back to this crash landing, wow, land, cave, star, 67. Freaking love this deck. Okay. Coming back to this crash landing. Ah, yes, the cards. And this is going to be speaking to layers of consciousness. So I'm going to talk about like a physical, but also please don't think that I think it is only you used a shovel, you dug something, you covered it up, and you need to go find it. I know it's more complex than that, and sometimes it is that simple. There's something of when you landed, you said, I need to make sure no one else finds this before I do, because I don't want this to get into the wrong hands. I don't want people to take advantage of this before they understand the potential ramifications and afterquakes, like after a earthquake, aftershock, whatever you call it, the ripples that continue like a tsunami. They don't know what could happen. It's also you're hiding it for your future self, yes, but also for future generations. It's not just your soul to your soul, although for some it is. And you have a different role, and you know that. I know you know that. But there's something in looking around at how you live your life. What are habits, traits that feel natural and obvious to you? Look at how that will coincide with your story of landing. There's something in there for you. Yeah, these ripples. And perhaps it is able for you to become this swirl in the astral and be searching, scanning Earth to see where it is, what it is. And you may take that literal, you may take that symbolic. I leave that for you. But I'm seeing these lines sticking out the side, and it's starting to spill over. As my hand is pointing to this, and I'm again thinking back to that volcano. And I don't know if I just sound like that person, like a volcano is going to blow and it's going to be really bad. But I keep getting that. And again, perhaps it is the volcano within yourself. The soul, passion. This sees, or this is a site for looking through. Number 8, welcoming the help of others. Okay. So your role, I'll say role, duty, calling, responsibility, path, choice, fate, is now expanding outside of just yourself. So perhaps it is for you to be leading people to where it is, what may be. And it doesn't need to be a physical place or a physical existence. It could be something like a way of doing things, a way of being kind to other people. It could be something you do for work, for research, something you do in your community, something with food. There's whatever it is that you are stepping into, you are doing it now for, alongside with, a collective. I won't say the collective, because I feel that there is still a search ongoing. But you need to keep an eye on who it is you are helping. This bird is standing out to me. This little guy. And all the places he could go, and all the messages he may carry through the lips of another. And this is coming through, and I don't want to tell you how to live your life. That's not my job. That's not my responsibility. I know that. And I'll share this little bit, and then I'm going to wrap this reading. A number of years ago, I was participating in a study that was looking at mental health. And part of the study was every time you do it, you need to go through this questionnaire, multiple choice, scaling questions. From a scale from absolutely not to absolutely yes. Strongly agree, strongly disagree, all those things. And they had these checkpoints. And during these checkpoints throughout the research or experiment, whatever, we had to do more in depth of those. And I remember doing it like normal and passing it in, and I was with the research student or research assistant, and she said, "Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, we actually need to do this other extra form." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Oh, well, you ticked enough boxes that we need to see if you have psychosis." And it was such an odd experience because, one, you shouldn't be super excited that I may be pinging signs of psychosis. I think you should calm down and be more professional, but whatever, live your life. But two, what do you mean I may ping for psychosis? Where does that come from? And then we went through it. I don't have psychosis. I didn't then. But it was statements like, I feel connected to a higher power. I believe the universe is speaking to me. I see signs and messages in the world around me. I don't fear death. It was things like this that triggered psychosis. And I understand they also had things like, I believe I have magical powers. I believe I'm stronger than any other human. I believe I can fly. Like, they had things like that, to which I understand, sure. But it was an eye-opening experience for me that when you talk about yours, and I know psychosis is real. I know that there's mental health crises. I know that sometimes people believe that they can fly and then they do things and they can't fly. I know. I understand. But as a human that's just saying, yeah, I see meaning in the world around me. I believe I'm having a spiritual engagement with the universe in one form or another. I see beauty in the stars. You know what I mean? And to know that that little is something that, had this not been a study I was choosing to be a participant in, had this been an intake form, had I been speaking to a walk-in clinic doctor or a family doctor, if I was speaking to someone that was new in their field, if I had other mental health things going on and this got wrapped up in the bit, all to say, I, the individual, could have so quickly lost control over my own bodily autonomy. And I'm not saying don't speak to mental health professionals. I'm not saying don't seek out therapy. I think it's so important and valuable, and it's about finding the right person, finding a match, being aligned. And also, I've mentioned this before, but you can look into the psychiatric survivor movement. And I think that there's a lot of overlap between that and madness and people speaking through their spiritual experiences, and this being treated as mental illness or demonic within Western systems. So when I'm seeing this little birdie speaking through this mouth, as you're doing your due, as you're sharing your message, what is coming through is that if you start speaking about remembering your crash landing to Earth and you're moving towards your ascension and you're waiting for the universe to give you what it is and you're being swallowed whole, but that's fine because you can scan the Earth and see what it is that you left here. I don't know how many thousands to hundreds, like, you know, how many years ago that is. That's not my area. Something may happen because you are speaking these things on a public platform. This is why I'm very clear. We speak through symbol and story on this channel. And if you're taking these things as literal, that's not something that is to be used against me because I'm speaking in symbol and I'm telling story. Okay? But the message that's coming through, that has been coming in, is a lot of people are remembering the landing. And we are now picking up from that disorientative space, headspace. And we are learning how to put meaning to that now. So with that, what I'm seeing through here is be mindful of who it is that you are having these conversations with. And you're a human that has free will. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. You are that powerful. And there's just caution coming through from spirit. Okay. I may do another, and I may not. Oh, and a question to those of you who have gotten here to the end. Hello. I'm curious to try a few things. I can't do the memberships yet. I want to try going live, and I'm like to maybe do readings with you and like have chats and conversations, but also channeling and see what comes through. And I'm also curious, what are people's thoughts on plant medicine being involved in this process? I'm kind of hesitant around it, and I know sometimes through plant medicine, I get very tuned in and a lot of downloads come in very rapidly, but I also often have a difficult time verbalizing them. Yeah. Hello. So let me know if you'd be interested in doing a live and like, I don't know, weekend, weekday, daytime, evening, like when is this something that you would fit into your schedule? And what is your thoughts on engaging with spiritual messages, messaging, stories when plant medicine is involved? Right now, nothing on my channel has been spoken through the influence of plant medicines, but I'm not necessarily intending on keeping that same line or boundary on my Substack, because that's kind of a place to be fully in any way. But I will always let you know if that is involved. You don't need to guess. Okay. If this resonates with you, you can like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to hear from me more often. In the description, you will find a link to my Substack, which hosts the 444 Collective, where the signal is active. Stay tuned and discerning.